We're here at RipTydz for episode 4 of season number 7 of Behind the Scenes, presented by RipTydz Oceanfront Grill and Rooftop Bar, as well as Bummz Beach Cafe. He's Hunter Hornstein. I'm Luke Maywit. Hunter, you're joining us here today. Welcome in. Welcome everybody back. We're off and rolling in the second half, and as many people, including yourself, say, the birds are hot.
The birds are indeed hot, especially against the Charleston River Dogs, and coming off some great games at home too. It's a lot more fun watching the team come from behind, beat up on teams, and just overall win at the pace that they're doing it.
Yeah, you look back at the first half, and it was a lot of close losses, now turning those into wins. It's been really fun to see the guys take that step and find how to win ball games, because that plays really well as they progress up the system and then ultimately, hopefully playing some ball at Wrigley at some point in their career. It's been a lot of fun on the field. It's also been a lot of fun off the field. We had Red, White, and Blue weekend, which was a really, really successful weekend, including 4th of July. What did that mean to you?
Well, I think the 4th of July just in general is such a, I think it's a really nostalgic holiday. I think you remember being a kid and seeing the fireworks and running around with sparklers and playing at the beach or outside and having, hamburgers, hot dogs, friends and family. It's the 4th of July. You want to go and enjoy the time. But if you have to working at the ballpark is not a bad consolation prize, especially when you see the crowd fill in the way it does, the amount of people that are wearing that red, white, and blue, the players wearing those special jerseys, the Palmetto State red, white, and blues. And it's just Americana and just a little bit of baseball, a little bit of slice of baseball heaven. Great fireworks show, sold out crowd. Had a little bit of weather throughout the weekend, but the 4th of July was beautiful and just a lot of fun. And there's it's just baseball, man. Summertime baseball, what's better than that?
Yeah, exactly right. And you look at the weekend as a whole, 4th of July, big success. 5th, there was some of that weather on that Saturday, but we were still able to open the gates and get those giveaways out to people, which was really cool to see as well. People wearing that shirt. Talk to me a little bit about what goes in on your side, on the fan engagement side, in terms of planning for a giveaway and maybe even making the giveaway.
So I'll use the shirt as an example since we're talking about it, but we started discussing that shirt probably around this time last year. So to even move it further back, we had done a shirt. Our plan was originally in 2020. We were going to do a shirt series, and we are going to give away 3 shirts over that year. Obviously, the 2020, everyone knows what happened. The order had already been placed and it was already in production, so the shirts arrived. We didn't have a season, we didn't play, but we had basically 3,000 shirts, 1,000 of each different type of shirt. One was the regular logo shirt that was more of like a tiki vibe and yellow and blue. We also had a Merman shirt that we were going to give away back when we were celebrating the Myrtle Beach Merman, and then one was a throwback. It was a 99 logo, and kind of in that style, in that version. So we had those shirts, and so after 2020 got through that, we opened back up in 2021. We decided, well, we've got these shirts. We have a giveaway for the next 3 years, at least one giveaway. So we did the shirts, and the first one we did, I think, was we did the Merman one. I think we did first because it was a salute to the Merman. The new rules denied us the opportunity to continue using the IP of the Merman. Major League Baseball and minor league baseball got a little bit more stingent on the rules, and so it was kind of our last hurrah to do it. We wore the jerseys, and then for folks that don't know, the Myrtle Beach Merman from HBO's Eastbound and Down was filmed at the ballpark. The next year we did the logo shirt, which was again another big hit because it was a really cool wearable. And then the final year, the 3rd year of it, we did the throwback, which coincided with our 25th season anniversary. So we got to do a throwback to the 99 logo. And so we got through those 3 shirts, and then realized going into the 25 season, okay, well, we don't have one that's readily available. What's the next iteration of it? So we noticed that it was so popular. Came up with the idea of, why don't we do a red, white, and blue style and kind of model it after the jersey that the players will wear on the field, and kind of looking at the year schedule and looking at July, noticed that we were on playing on the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th. Kristen, myself, Moore, we all kind of looked at it together. Ryan Cannella was involved too, and we were like, well, how do we distribute the dollars promotional wise to get us through that weekend, right? Where do we allocate that money? And so we decided we're going to do fireworks on the 4th, obviously. We won't do fireworks on the 5th, but we'll do a giveaway, and we'll do a premium giveaway at that, which would be the shirt. And then Sunday we'll do fireworks. And that's kind of how we structured out the weekends. In August of last year, pretty much it was decided that's the shirt we're going to do. By the time the season ends, I'm talking to our vendors, first getting quotes on, who can do the shirt, getting samples to see what the feel of the shirts are. We want to obviously be high quality, something our fans would like. And then from there, once we have an art mock-up, which goes through 2-3 different revisions between me and the vendor, I hand it off to Cannella, and he finds a partner for that. And just so happened we found Freedom Boat Club. 4th of July weekend, it just kind of fit. It's a great outdoor shirt, and so they were great partners to come on board with us.
Well, let's move on a little bit. Red, white, and blue weekend was a massive success. We've got some things on the men. Before we get to that, questions?
Why not?
Let's dive in here. Let's see what we've got this go around. We've got our RipTydz bucket, and this is a good one to kind of lean into because we did talk about it just a little bit. This is asking if a company wants to get their logo on the giveaway, kind of like that shirt we just gave away with Freedom Boat Club. Yep. What has to happen? What's that process like? And I know you kind of touched on that a little bit.
Ryan Cannella, and I'm going to read off his cell phone number here so we can put that out on the internet. You can reach Ryan at rcannella@myrtlebeachpelicans.com, CANNELLA at myrtlebeachpelicans.com, or you can call him on his cell phone, which is area code 719 and particularly like 7 o'clock at night and after, he's super available, especially early in the morning. Just had a new kid. Shout out to
He's
Cal.
always awake. So
he's awake at like 5
early in the
a.m.
morning is a great time.
I call it the selling season. But once the season's over, our guys, whether it's Todd, Cannella, Ryan, Kristen, whoever, they get going. They start reaching out, and we're trying to put sponsors on the outfield billboards or in the in-flight magazine or wherever, right? But also part of that is those giveaways. So having those things done early so we can go in and have like a proof of concept is super, super big.
All right, we go back into the bucket. Let's see what we've got here. Oh, a little All-Star game talk. We've got the All-Star game coming up. What's one change to the All-Star game that you would make? And I can answer first unless you've got it on ready.
You go ahead.
In terms of one change that I would personally make when it comes to the All-Star game, I would say kind of a more uniform voting. I think it's great that fans have their input. I think the All-Star game should be centered around fans having fun, but also maybe that there's something to balance out those votes.
I think you have to have the fans involved in some capacity, but when it's a popularity contest, I think then it's not an all-star game, right? An all-star game was the best of the best, and one of my favorite things is seeing those old Instagram reels that come through where it shows like the AL lineup from 1998 or the AL lineup from 2004. And you're looking at these guys as they're walking in their lower thirds and the numbers that they're putting up. It's, you've got, a 335 hitter, a 335 hitter, a 330 hitter, a 340, like back to back to back. That's how you grow the game, is the best of the best going up against the best of the best. I will give Major League Baseball credit, though. They went back to the uniforms this year. Absolutely awesome wearing your uniforms and your homes or your gray aways. I think that right there is a step in the right direction for sure.
Let's dive into our last question, which I think is still All-Star related. All-Star break going on. This one's for both of us. Best prospect you've seen play in your time in the minors?
The cop-out answer, because he's an all-star this year, is PCA.
Yep.
Like, he just was head and shoulders above better than everybody else. And if you look back at those, like that, what was that, 23, I think? You look back at those teams, they're stacked, which was really, really fun to watch.
A guy that's not in the big leagues yet, he's in AAA Round Rock with the Rangers, Emiliano Teodo. I've never seen so much movement in person on a pitch over 100 miles an hour. A guy that has hit 102 with a two-seamer, so a sinker that has movement, and then he adds a slider and a changeup, and the slider is unheard of too. A guy that's bullpen ready at the big league level, but the Rangers, I think, see him as a starter, and so it was really fun to watch him progress, 10 strikeout night after 10 strikeout night, just going up there so clearly better than the guy he's facing off against, and that's as you were talking about with PCA, is just a guy that can do it all, and he does it defensively.
Speaking of All-Stars, former Birds that are in the All-Star game, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention them, but Freddie Freeman's on there. Gleyber Torres is on there. PCA, we mentioned.
Then a few others in the Futures game as well. We had
Owen Casey, Jackson Wiggins. Wiggins is removed.
He's just not going to start. He's still named to it, but he won't be playing, and it had some there's nothing wrong with his arm or anything, but they were just managing his workload.
Jackson Wiggins, Owen Casey. Owen Casey just had a huge game, actually.
Another two-homer night. I think he's had like 3 in the last 10 days.
And then Zaire Hope for the Dodgers, who played 1 game with us last year. So we will claim him.
Once a bird, always a bird.
Once a bird, always a bird.
More things about our fans this time. Touch a Truck is coming up. We've got all sorts of things throughout the month of July.
Touch a Truck.
Give us just a little bit about brief synopsis of what that is. I know there's going to be some really cool vehicles and some really cool personnel at the park.
Yeah, so Touch a Truck is an activation that happens actually outside the ballpark. So you're going to want to come in early because there's going to be a ton of different trucks, machinery, different companies showing off kind of what they do. I think, like, for example, last year, the firefighter truck that like hoses down planes if God forbid something were to happen with them at the airport, like the foam thing, that was there. We've had tractors, we've had utility vans, we've had big SWAT tanks, like we've had all these different machineries. They'll all be outside in the parking lot, outside the main gates, around the hill, around the pond. Shay, our retail assistant, is working on that, and I think the last update she gave me like a couple weeks ago was like 12 or so, and she's got more coming on the way. You can try on like a police vest, you can try on a firefighter's helmet. There's like a cement mixer at one point that like they had showing how the cement is made. Like, it's actually really cool stuff.
Cool demonstrations, cool things to check out, and then enjoy a baseball game. So that's the 18th of July. The following night, we have Mystery Ball Night, which I have heard bits and pieces about, and it sounds really cool, but I don't think I could explain it to someone.
But for $20, you can buy an unmarked box, and in all of those boxes, and we'll have over 100 boxes available to purchase, is a signed baseball from anybody, and that's the mystery of it. So over the whole course of the year, Ryan Rosenthal and Shay have been reaching out to different teams all over minor league baseball, over the Major League Baseball, all over the developmental leagues and indie ball and collegiate ball and everything, and just asking for a signed baseball. It doesn't matter who it is, just give us a signed baseball. And we put those all into unmarked boxes, and you can buy a box. And the fun of it is that there could be a box signed by Nolan Ryan, like we had a couple of years ago, or there could be one signed by,
sadly, me.
By
I didn't sign a ball, so you're safe there.
All the proceeds go back to the Pelicans Community Fund, which in turn then goes back to the community. It's our nonprofit wing, so it's a good cause. You get as many baseballs as you want. I know we're going to supply a ton as well on our archive, so I can tell you right now there will be a PCA baseball in there. There will be a Cade Horton baseball in there. We got some stuff coming from the Cubs as well. Some from some other major league teams too. There may be some Hall of Famers in there. Who knows? But that's kind of the fun of it. So Mystery Ball Night.
So early for that one. Again, that's the 19th of July. Then we look ahead that following week, the 25th. One that doesn't need much explanation. Christmas in July.
Santa
is going to be here at the beach, at the ballpark. July 25th. Don't forget it. And then our last thing that we were going to talk about here in this one, Deaf Awareness Night, which is a really special one. Talk to us very briefly what that entails, how long it's been around.
2018, we did the first annual Deaf Awareness Night, which I know has been talked about a ton on the show and talked about just in general with our organization. But just continuing that night of inclusion and awareness for those that are within the community that may not be aware of the folks that are here or elsewhere, and just to again make people feel welcome at the ballpark. We're going to do a silent inning again where we literally play nothing. We'll have interpreters in a specific section that you can buy tickets to, and they will sign the entire game. Everything that you hear will be signed by them. The Pelicans will wear those specialty jerseys again. Now, those are actually a part of our collection, our on-field collection now, so they will not be auctioned off, but they are basically a button-up version of our 2018 style, which is still in the museum in Cooperstown at the Hall of Fame, which is pretty cool. Yeah, another year of this night. It's been a lot of fun to see this thing grow, not just from what we do, but from what other teams do. Deaf Awareness Night's a really cool one. It's a really special one, and I think it's a lot of fun to see the excitement for that night after all of these years that we've done it. So always kind of a good one to cap off a 9-game homestand.
A lot of fun on field, off the field, and that wraps us up. Episode 4 in the books of Behind the Scenes. He's Hunter Hornstein. I'm Luke Maley. We'll catch you next time.